Okay, so before you ask, yeah, I have my microphone on now. But of course, I really don't know why you would ask that, because you can hear my voice right now. What's going on, Bear Pack? It's time for a State of the Union address. In response to the last episode that didn't pan out exactly as I planned on it, and you couldn't hear exactly what happened, I'm going to give you a breakdown of what's been going on in the kingdom since the previous episode. As you can see, the Iron Throne is intact. We also have this nice little chunk of land over here in New Gis, and this is due to the fact that Daenerys Targaryen has passed away. She passed away from winter fever, finally took her, and that happened towards the end of the previous episode, my last kind of playing session. As a result, we have inherited the Great Pyramid in Marine, as well as the Iron Pyramid, which I believe is in Yonkai, and everything's kind of a mess. So to kind of recap on where everything is, we were able to begin a colony in Old Stones. I have my Master of Coin there right now to oversee construction in Old Stone. We have not advanced as a colony yet. It is still just a colony, but we are working on it, and it's currently not generating any income, as colonies tend to do. But the goal is, once that is complete, once construction there is complete, we're going to award that back to Lord Paramount Loren Mudd of the Trident, and allow him to return to his rightful seat that was destroyed years and years and years ago, centuries ago. Old Stones was destroyed. So the next step, as you can see, we have quite a bit of gold that we inherited from Dany. And we are going to colonize Summerhall. Now, I'm not going to begin that right now, because ultimately we're going to struggle to make sure we have enough funds to deal with Old Stones at the moment. I don't want to be spread between two colonies. I want to just keep our focus right there, let our Master of Coin oversee construction, and then whenever construction is complete, award it to House Mudd and begin construction at Summerhall, send our Master of Coin there. Now, as you all know, my goal is to make this playthrough as authentic as possible to how I believe Aegon would be as a king. I don't believe he'll be king. I don't believe he'll win the throne in the books. I believe he's kind of a diversion, so to speak, a sort of shadow of things to come for when Dany ends up coming across the narrow sea. I do believe, though, that if he were to have won the throne, he would be quite a good king. Now, in terms of restoring the Targaryen dynasty back to how it should be, the real goal is to be a good king. Now, in this playthrough, I have kind of acquired the lunatic and gonorrhea traits, and I feel like in spite of that, we've been able to be a very good king. Now, our son is currently the King of Astapor, and his titles include the Kingdom of Astapor, a weak claim on the Iron Throne. He has the High Lordship of Yonkai, the High Lordship of the Copper Hills, and the Lordship of Vadadan. And this isn't good. This isn't what I want. I don't want my heir away from me, basically. I'm okay with him having everything over in Essos, in the Slavers Bay area. I'm okay with him being the king over there. I'm fine with that. But I really don't want anything to happen to the guy that we definitely want to be our heir, Prince Jaehaerys. Didn't turn out exactly as I would have wanted him. He is gregarious and chaste, but he's also envious and proud and wroth. And he has taken a vow of celibacy, apparently, because his wife has died. So maybe we don't want him to be our heir. But his wife, my only daughter, Rhaenys Targaryen, died under suspicious circumstances just before Dany died. And so it seems that the Targaryen line is cursed to skip this generation of just beastly stats and fall into the hands of King Aerion, who isn't that great. Now, that isn't to say that he can't become great. He is still charitable and kind and patient and zealous. He does ride the dragon Orberion, who is the son of Rhaegal, my dragon, or Aegon's dragon at the moment. Now, because of all of this, we're kind of dealing with multiple issues. I don't want anything beyond the Narrow Sea. I want to focus all of our attention here in Westeros. And I knew this day would come, and my goal was to have multiple children with which to divide the kingdom. And currently we don't have that. I don't see a point in really doing much with Prince Jaehaerys right now because of his celibacy vow. There's no way that he's going to produce an heir. My genius, attractive daughter was killed, and so there's really no point in doing much beyond that. So the goal right now is to deal with as much of the madness as we possibly can. And I do need time to think about all of this and weigh these decisions very carefully. So it seems like, at least for this episode, and perhaps for the next couple, we're going to end up with a slow time progression and a lot of sort of dealing with the moving pieces. If you have suggestions, I'd love to hear them. Please comment them down below. I'm always open to suggestions and always open to constructive criticism and that sort of thing. I feel like this is kind of a community attempt to make the Targaryen line great once more. Now, it is sad that Dany died. We are having a funeral in her honor, and so we're currently on the lookout for all of those events that will pop up, and hopefully they'll improve my relations with my vassals over here in the Seven Kingdoms. But we have a lot to deal with. And the first step is to offer peace in this Giscari civil war to lower crown authority. We're going to offer white peace. I've already done that, and once we advance, that should sort of take care of that war. Now the question still remains: how am I going to deal with exactly what's going on over in Slaver's Bay? Now, I do have the option. I can usurp two of the kingdoms. I have the ability to colonize, so I'm going to usurp the kingdom of Yunkai and the kingdom of Astapor. But first, and I'm going to take those from Aerion, and I'm going to hope that that brings him over into the into my court. I'm hoping that that kind of revokes some of his titles. I can revoke them for 100 prestige and lower his opinion. I can usurp them instead. That's what I'm going to do. Usurp the kingdom. Now I'm going to usurp the kingdom of Astapor. Okay, so I got his treasury back from him. I'm over my vassal limit, and I wish that I could so this guy's got his own. What are Prince Aerion's titles now? He has the High Lordship of Yunkai. He has the High Lordship of Copper Hills. He has the Lordship of Yunkai, the Lordship of Maelk right here, and he has the Lordship of Vadalan. Yeah. So these three counties are all that he owns at the moment, and I wish there was a way that I could revoke those from him without making him absolutely hate me. And I don't want all of these titles. I really don't. But I definitely want to be able to deal with them as they come, and I need to be able to. Yeah, I can't do that without lowering my other vassals' opinions, and I don't want to do that. I can't risk that. it's more along the lines of kind of an issue of there's a lot that could go wrong over in Westeros with all of this stuff going on over in Essos, so I really need to be very, very careful. Now, one other thing is that we are currently unmarried. Now, I don't plan on remarrying because there's really not any point other than to produce more children, which, I mean, I already have an heir, and I'm already having enough issues with that. So I believe what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to shift, because of all of our gold so far, I'm actually going to shift to the seduction focus. I feel like Aegon would sort of have a midlife crisis maybe, and the lunacy that has taken him would kind of push him in this direction. And the goal right now is to produce not an heir, but to produce more children that are suitable. That's the right word. Suitable. Because, honestly, if we were to just leave things the way that they are, one, we don't have any daughters with whom to marry any of our sons to. And after the wedding went down, I was fairly hopeful that this union would last and I would only have one of my sons to worry about, but I have two now. So, we shall see exactly what happens with all of this. So another thing that happened over in this, the last episode was, I took a look over back at the Valerian girl, who I'd been keeping my eye on, Daenerys Valerian, and hoping that once she reached about the age of 14 or 15, I'd be able to kind of weasel my way to get her into my court and be able to offer her to one of my sons. Now the issue is that she was married off at the age of 14 to this bastard son of Alaric Rogers. And really that's an issue for multiple reasons. One, he's a gluttonous, fat-faced person with really no claims on anything. He has a weak claim on the Lordship of Amberley. Won't accept my invitation to the court, so I feel like the only way to go about not muddling up the High Valyrian line is to plot to kill this dude. And we're going to go ahead and auto-invite plotters. Let's see who will... This lady will accept a bribe. Let's see what her price is. 15, we can do that. There's 3 plotters here that will accept bribes. 15, we can do that. 15, we can do that. And 15, we can do that. Okay, now, there's no one else that we can bribe, but that should increase our plot power tremendously. And we'll be able to hopefully kill him and then bring her to our court. It may have to be through marriage that we do that, I'm not sure. If the person was High Valyrian, I'd be more than willing to work something out in terms of a marriage or whatever to produce another son or two, perhaps a couple of daughters. I feel like Aegon still has a couple of years left. I would say probably about 10 years left in kingship. And one thing that I do wish that this game was possible to do is something that historically was done quite a bit, where a king had reigned for a long time, and Aegon's reigned, I think, since he was 28. And so almost 30 years, 25 years on the Iron Throne. I wish that it was possible to be able to do a co-regency with the heir, where the heir is actually given the king title, and they're co-regents for the last few years of the current king's life, while the younger son learns the ropes, so to speak, and gets to spend some time as the king, kind of learning as he goes. And co-regency was very popular even before medieval times. And so I do wish it was something that we were able to accomplish with this game. Unfortunately, it's not. So we kind of have to deal with cards that are dealt to us. So I feel like Aegon has enough time left. I'd be open to marriage, but really it'd be better if she was married to one of my sons. I still don't know how that's going to happen. Jaehaerys and his celibacy vow kind of throw a monkey wrench into everything at this point. So we'll have to see. I'm gonna keep on thinking and keep on chugging, and I'll check back in just a little bit. So I believe I kind of have everything sorted out. I went through a list of ladies in my culture group and invited 2 of them to court. One of them's quick, the other one is giant. Hoping to produce some powerful bastards, if you will. That may or may not be legitimized. I know they'll have claims, but honestly, it might be better if they have claims, if they're legitimized, and end up ruling. So while that's being taken care of, I've kind of made the decision that really the only way we can advance forward without having to deal with anybody over in Essos is to go ahead and give the whole lot to Prince Arian. And I know if he stays if he stays as our heir, once we die, we're going to have to deal with all of that. But I was talking about the co-regency, and this is a perfect opportunity for co-regency, so to speak, where I'm really not involved, but give him a chance to rule before he actually rules. Now, he currently hates me because I usurped his titles, but once I give them back, he's going to have a very positive opinion of me. He'll probably call me to help in his wars and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to wait to give them to him until this war ends. And the goal is to, once that war ends, I'm going to go ahead and just dump all the titles that are associated with Essos over there and go back to the way things were, and let's roll forward and let that go through. Okay. White piece. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and dump all of these titles. Now, to begin with, we're going to give him the Castle of the Iron Pyramid. We're going to give him the Lordship of Marine. So we're back to all of our land titles that we had before Danny died. Old Stones, Dragonstones, and King's Landing. We have the High Lordship of Dragonstone, which we should. I have the High Lordship of King's Landing, which we should. Now the only thing that we need is to get rid of the Kingdom of Yonkai, the Kingdom of Marine, the Kingdom of Astapor, and the Empire of Giscard. There we go. There's our... yeah. Where's that? Granted Kingdom, 240 opinion, vassal transfer, plus 90, granted empire, plus 100. I mean, there's no chance this kid's gonna hate me now. So, I think I'm also going to... good. Okay, so he's on the same level as me. He's entirely self-operating. He's not my liege or anything. I am his heir, and I'm going to go ahead and let him marry as he pleases if he wants to, because I really don't have any options right now. So, now that we've done that title dump, we have a open council position for High Admiral. We're going to include Lord Paramount Roger Bolton, who's now old enough to serve on the council, so that's good. So we currently have 3 Lord Paramounts on our council, actually 4, with Harry the Heir, who is old now, ugh, gross, and 4 of them serving on our council, and I think they all have, yeah, they all are loyalists, except for Lord Lauren, who is a pragmatist, which is fine. It's not negative. So, we still have the ability to colonize. We have wars that we can command to end, which I'm not going to worry about at the moment. There's still Lord Larence the Bewitched that I can press a claim on Winterfell for, but that would be colonizing it again. Prince Jaehaerys is in need of Dragonstone, but that should just be in the near future, not right this second, because, I mean, I guess I can give him the land without really having to worry about him marrying as he pleases. Yeah, I really don't have to worry about it. The extra income is nice, though, so I may wait till he asks. Yeah, I may wait till he asks. Alright, so I have these ladies coming into town, and that's currently where we're at right now. I'm still in the Kingdoms view because I want to look. Okay, so this is the Empire of Giscard at the moment. Really, the only thing it's missing is Astapor and then Jaguar, who is declared incapable. His regent is this lady. So, hopefully Arian can get some experience with, well, we have a truce. The next 10 years, that's good. So hopefully Arian can get some experience in leadership and do his thing over there, and hopefully not bugger up anything too bad. And, yeah. Alright, so now we press forward. Honey, give it one more chance.